Good day, folks. This is Judy at Green Pastures Farm. Today is a beautiful August 28th. Getting toward the end of August, and my special guest today is Alex Scott. He is our new employee. And Alex, you come to us from where?
Oh, from Carroll County, Missouri, originally up north in Wisconsin, but local for the most part.
Yep, and you and I kind of met by accident.
Yeah.
You called about a bull, of all things.
Of all things. They say, there's an old quote that says, if you do your work truly and conscientiously, no matter how isolated and lonely you feel, unknown allies will seek you out. But Greg wasn't necessarily unknown. We were unknown to each other, but I know Greg fairly well.
Yeah, and so you called about a bull, and then you and I got to talking, and I kind of half-kiddingly told you, I don't remember what your circumstances were, but I got to reading you a little bit. You were very passionate about regenerative ag, and this is kind of what you've been working for to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had several jobs in the agricultural industry, but I usually end up on the wrong side of the fence, so to speak, more of the conventional side of things or the industrial side of things, unfortunately, but it all works itself out in the end. Everything happens for a reason. And I just had seen that they were looking for some apprentices here at Green Pastures Farms on the website when I was looking at his bulls, and I thought, oh man. And I just started a job driving semis, and turns out 90% of what we did was hauling junk to feedlots, and I got pretty sick of that pretty quick. And but luckily I had gotten that job. If not, my old boss had called me about a job in North Carolina, and if I wasn't home, I'd be out in North Carolina. I would have never even called Greg to begin with.
So it worked for a reason.
That's right.
And your job in North Carolina would have been storm damage?
Yeah, disaster relief. We clean up hurricanes, flood work, and all that stuff. Basically, it's just the highest paying, most rewarding job I could find to fund my agricultural dreams. Because, you know, if your family doesn't have a bunch of land, everybody knows that it's not cheap to get into agriculture these days. So you got to have, you know, other sources of income, especially starting out. If you don't, it's a recipe for disaster.
It's pretty tough, isn't it?
It's very tough.
Well, you've got 40 acres, and you've got a small herd of cows, and what else do you have? You got a little bit.
We got a bunch of poultry, ducks, and we raise meat chickens, some turkeys. We got some geese, some grazing geese. We like to get into the sheep and well, we got some horses too, but they're not, mostly just for play rather than for profit. But we'll get into the sheep and some other things too. But right now, the main concern is here at Green Pastures Farms for a while. So.
Well, I tell you, Jan and I are really very fortunate to have you here, and you bring a lot of good qualities and skill levels with you. You're very adaptable. You know, whatever we tell you to kind of do, you can just kind of go do it. And that's, you know, you can't really put a price on that. I mean, I told you the other day, and it's not because you're standing here, but you've got good farm sense.
Yeah. And
that comes along with common sense. So you look at a situation, you can kind of figure your way out of it.
Right, yeah. Yeah, sometimes you just got to make a decision. More wrong comes from indecision than wrong decision. Because life's like a chessboard, and there's a million moves to make and a million mistakes, but there's a million ways to fix anything. So
yeah,
no matter what you do, you can always fix it. But the better you get, the least you have to fix, and you can get it right the first time.
Well, I tell you, Alex, we really like your confidence, your skill level, just your philosophy about what we do here, and it kind of goes along with what you want to do too.
Yeah.
You know, down the road.
Yeah, it's you know, had a lot of jobs working 7 days a week, a lot of hours, and it's kind of a drag. But when you work for something like this, it's just you kind of just float out of bed in the morning. You don't have to drag yourself up.
Yeah.
You know, it's just it doesn't feel like work, because it's more fun than anything to me. A lot of people it may not be, but it's kind of a lifestyle and a passion more than anything. So.
Well, what do you think about behind us here? I mean, you look at across these hills here, Alex. You got all this big blue stem, and there's clover, there's fescue. We haven't had any rain. Yeah. We just talked to somebody, was it today or yesterday, said it was the driest August?
Driest August since 1901 is what the Weather Channel was telling them. Now, granted, we've had a lot of rain in the past prior months, but a lot of folks in the Midwest are hurting right now.
Yep.
I see a lot of folks online talking about they're feeding hay, they're having to source grain, and then they don't have any money, so they're feeding them the junk, you know.
Yep.
And if you don't have any money right now, what are you gonna feed them in January?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And you can't. You got to save something. I mean, how many times have you grazed this piece right here just this year?
Oh gosh, this is our. I think it's our 5th pass.
Yeah.
Around here.
And you can't tell it. I mean, look at this blue stem. You graze it 5 times, and it's still going to give you seeds and reseed your pasture.
Yeah. Look at all the feed. Look at all the feed.
And the undergrowth. When you get down here, this is where your water is going to hold. Yep. You know, if you take it down and if you walk away with this, when you leave, when you're done grazing, well, what's going to hold your water?
Exactly. And what's going to catch dew in the morning?
Exactly. What's going to catch dew in the morning? We haven't had any rain, but we're still wearing rubber boots when we move the cattle in the morning. Otherwise, you're going to have wet shoes and wet pants. Yeah. But if you don't have anything to catch that dew, well, you're not going to catch it.
Well, what do you say to people that say dew isn't any good? It doesn't make a difference.
That's a shame if you think that, because well, history will tell you otherwise. And in the Bible, they talk about a 7-year drought, but they still had a crop every year, and that was from the dew. Yeah. You know, and nothing else really. Yeah. And then you got a plant like this that's roots liable to be 4 or 5 feet down in the ground. Yeah. If you don't get a rain for a month, well, this guy's doing just fine because he can pull it up. It can reach it. But if you take him down to the ground, well, he's gonna die. It just can't handle it. Well, what do you think about the school of thought that, you know, if you don't take it all, you've kind of wasted that grass, and you know the people are calling us, what do they call that? They're calling us selective grazers. That's what it is. Well, there's no such thing as non-selective grazing in some senses, but there is such thing as non-selective trampling. Yeah. And you know, a lot of what you might want to try and make your cow eat, like this ironweed, you might not have much nutrition to the cow, but if you trample that on the ground and all these vitamins and minerals in here, that's going to feed your soil. Yep. And a lot of times the weeds that are growing is in response to the deficiency of your soil. So when you trample that back into the ground, well, then you just gave the soil what it's looking for. Yep. Because nature is always trying to put something there to heal whatever's going on, whether it's Canadian thistle, it could be a cocklebur. That's right. Whatever, it's trying to heal that spot. Yeah, nature is very powerful, and she's gonna heal herself. You just have to let her. Yeah. You got to work with her, not against her, and that's the biggest thing is not trying to work against her, because you know, in months like this, it shows what you're able to grow. And if you don't have anything right now in a dry month, well, you're not going to grow any stockpile. No. I mean, and you're going to be feeding hay all winter long, and then you're not making money. That's right. And then if you're not making money, well, what are you doing it for? Well, my old saying is, Alex, if every day that you've got to haul animals feed to them, you're working for the animal. But if they can feed themselves because you manage your grass correctly, well, now they're working for you. That's right. And that's one of the biggest things with raising cattle is finding cattle that will work for you, and you're not working for your cattle, because cattle's got four legs and a mouth. He can go wherever you want. You just got to make sure that he can go there and do his job. Yep. Well, this morning we sorted off 4 steers. 5 steers. 5 steers and a bull. So we reduced our stocking rate a little bit. But when we did, we also tightened up our paddock size. And this morning, and tonight we're going to do the same thing. So folks, you got to be adaptive, and you've also got to be very flexible in your grazing planning. You just can't go around with your head stuck in the sand. That first word in AMP grazing, adaptive, is the most important. Yeah. It's by far the most important, because one side of your farm you might want a different type of reaction or a different impact that you're trying, and there's a ton of different ways to do that. Paddock shape, size, you know, length, all of it. Or if you're grazing, you start on the top of your hills and go down, or if you start on the bottom of your hills and work up. There's a lot of different ways. The number of animals. Yep, the number of animals. Yep. But you got to be adaptive. And then from one farm to the other, if you got a couple different leases that you're working, how you're grazing one lease isn't going to work how you're grazing the other lease.
That's right.
So it is the most important part is to be adaptive.
Well, Alex, I really appreciate you taking the time tonight to, this is your first solo interview with me, and I just wanted people introduced to you. And it was a beautiful evening. We had a few minutes and you agreed, and I thank you so much. And Jan and I look forward for you in the future with us being a major part of Green Pastures Farm.
Yep, and I'm pumped, so
All right.
it's going to be a good journey.
All right. Well, thank you, Alex. Folks, on the way out, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you all next time.